Today marks 2 years since the attack on the U.S. Capitol, and this morning we are getting a unique perspective from a U.S. Capitol police officer who was there that day. Officer Harry Dunn has been very vocal about his experience testifying on Capitol Hill, even writing about it in a new memoir. He has also received a Congressional Gold Medal for his service, and later today he'll be among several other officers to be awarded the Presidential Citizens Medal. Officer Dunn, it's so nice to get to talk to you. I feel like there's so much to talk about. When I was thinking about today, as we mark 2 years since the insurrection, you were the first person I thought of because you have become one of the most important voices regarding that day and what you and your fellow officers had to go through. There must be so many different emotions running through you today. How do you feel?
Well, good morning. Thanks for having me on. 2 years later, it's hard to believe that we're at 730 days since, that horrific day in this country's history. You mentioned those accolades that I've received or will receive. I would trade them all for that day to never happen again. And I would trade them all for the people responsible to be held accountable for.
Your testimony helped open the January 6th committee's public hearings back in the summer of 2021, and since then, you have not stopped working. You have talked to Americans day by day, helping us to understand what unfolded that day. And after 18 months of investigating, by the House Select Committee and the committee releasing its report, what are your thoughts? Is there anything that you wish the committee did differently?
Well, if anybody who's seen the report, it's hundreds of pages long. I haven't made it entirely through. I am satisfied with the work that the committee did, short of reading the report. But the hearings, I've been asked, were there any new revelations or things that I found out? No, not really. I feel like a lot of my coworkers and I knew what happened and what would be the findings of those committee hearings the day of the attack on January 6th, because the individuals who were there attacking the Capitol, attacking us, they told us why they were there and who sent them.
It's so hard to, forget those images. In the last 2 years, you've had to relive that day over and over again, through the investigation. That day altered your life. What made you want to write about it in a new memoir coming out later this year?
Well, just, talking about everything, and it seems people listen to what I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I've always been encouraging people to do is tell their story. You noted that I'm one of the most prominent figures or faces from that day, but I'm just one guy. Everybody has a story, a different story, and it deserves to be heard. I still encourage everybody to get out and tell their stories about what happened that day. That, everybody thinks that January 6th, they see me or Michael Fanone, Sergeant Cannell, Danny Hodges. There's so many other people whose names you will never know. I just encourage everybody to get out there and tell their story. They deserve to be heard. There's so many heroes that day, not just me.
Absolutely, and I love that message,
yeah,
because you've moved so boldly and bravely through that without fear. And I want to ask you before we let you go, how do you move forward from a day like that? I mean, not only the physical violence, but you had to endure the racial epithets and slurs. How do you move forward after going through something like that?
Day by day. This is nothing that I've ever had to process before. It's, I don't know anybody who has been through something like this. So I'm just taking it day by day, and every day brings a new challenge or a new victory. And I'm just making it through day by day. I woke up last night. I went to bed feeling great. I woke up this morning with a ton of anxiety. So I'm figuring it out as I go. So.
And I've heard you say this before, don't let anyone steal your joy. I'm going to end on that. You are an inspiration to us. You defended America, our democracy, and we cannot say thank you enough. U.S. Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.